Mr. Zimmermann, you have been playing with the Helsinki Philharmonic before. You have recorded the Sibelius concerto about 5 years ago, and you have played the Shostakovich first concerto. How do you feel coming back with the orchestra?
I think it's like coming back to a family, which I know very, very well. I mean, I will never forget, I think it was in 2005, we played 3 programs in one season with 2 violin concertos in each program that were composed in the 1930s. And since that time, I think I have a very close, almost family-like friendship with them. And I think from both sides there's big sympathy in music making, but also in human side.
One thing has changed over the years, and that is your violin.
Mm-hmm.
You have been playing for 13 years the same violin, the Stradivarius, but now you had to give it away. What happened?
Well, what happened? The bank that bought the violin for me in 2001 got bankrupt, and also it got so much pressure from Brussels, from the EU, because it was a Landesbank half owned by the state where I live, North Rhine-Westphalia, and half run privately. So they had a kind of better position than other banks, and so they had to cut down. But of course, the biggest problem was that I'm not a banker or a financial specialist, but I think they did, of course, like so many other banks, a lot of mistakes and got into big problems. And now they have to sell everything and they have to close down in the latest 2 years. So that meant that also their art collection, including the violin I played since 13 years, was supposed to be sold. Now there was a big controversial argument with people, also with politicians. I had a lot of help from Berlin, not from the state where I live. And still the violin is there, it hasn't been sold. I don't know what's going to happen with it. But of course I have to, in the meantime, I have to play on another violin, and I'm tried many others during that time, since February. At the moment I'm also playing on a nice Stradivari, but of course I still have a big wound in my heart, and I miss the violin I played for 13 years. It's like, being married to somebody and then somebody takes it away. You know?
All violins are different, I think.
Yes, big difference in personality.
Can we, as an audience, hear that you are playing your old companion or the new one?
I think you can. I mean, if you would hear them, of course, one after the other, it would be very easy to understand. But the violin I played, this Lady Inchiquin, had a very special sound, especially when you as a player added the least. If you just did not add much, it could develop so incredibly well and had such a refinement in colors and in speaking the notes. And of course, especially when I played Schubert or Mozart or Bach or Beethoven, this kind of Viennese classic, you could really feel this incredible range of beauty and colors, and also warming things. There's something like a soul, I find, in each violin. And of course, it depends what you want. I was, after I had to give it back, kind of relieved that I had to find something immediately on this 22nd of February. And I got it Guarnerius del Gesù, which is of course the other famous violin maker. And it is such a different world. It has a big sound, and it was probably perfect to play Sibelius in a big hall in America. But when I returned to playing, let's say, a Mozart concerto, I found that the Stradivarius is, in general, much more refined. And I was always a Stradivarius player, and I don't seek to have a big sound like a trumpet, but I seek to have a kind of very refined sound that also kind of goes through walls, but in a different way. What I can tell you, what people feel, I think they just sense. If you have a certain violin, let's say, if you have a violin from Stradivarius built between 1710 and 20, there's something in the sound. I call it, maybe it's a kind of bone marrow sound, which goes into the hearts of the people. You cannot describe it, but there's something very smooth and very round, like you have an incredible dessert, or you enjoy an incredible whiskey, this kind of smooth taste. You know?
When you first take up a new violin, is it love at the first sight, or do you have to warm up with it?
Actually, it is always like when you go and buy shoes. They either fit and you say that's the one. If you just try them and again, and you are not sure from the first moment, then actually it's not the right one. So I think even if you, I mean, with the Lady Inchiquin, with the one I played for 13 years, it took me 4 or 5 years to understand, really to understand how to deal and how to play it, because she was not a very easy instrument to play. I had to buy practically all the music new and rethink bowings and fingerings and how to use the speed of my vibrato, for example, in combination with my bow speed, and it was a long process. And each Stradivari has a very big different personality, and it takes a long time, but you can say immediately, this is the voice I want to sing with, or sorry, this is not the right one.
We hope you'll find the right one.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Zimmermann.
Thank you.